Hi Pixie Dusters, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Theo and I love all things Disney. Today is episode 2 in our Imagineer Profile series, and we're going to be looking at Francis Xavier Atencio, more commonly known by his nickname, X Atencio. I honestly had so much fun researching this episode. His story is just absolutely amazing and he just seems like he was such a generally awesome guy. So I'm super excited to teach you guys all about this amazing Imagineer. So he was born September 4th, 1919 in Wallensburg, Colorado. Grew up there and then he went to art school in Los Angeles. While he was in art school, his professors recommended that he send some of his work to Walt Disney Animation Studios to see if he could get a job there. He was pretty sure that he wasn't going to because he was still pretty young. He was also not that confident and pretty shy. So X got the surprise of his life when he did indeed get hired at Walt Disney Animation Studios. He was so excited about this that when he found out, he started running all around the streets and he was screaming, "I got a job at Disney!" Which honestly, I would totally do that if I ever get a job at Disney. Everyone will know. His first task while he was an animator was as an in-betweener for Pinocchio. He took the key character poses that other animators had drawn and made them flow more smoothly. For Fantasia, he was promoted to an assistant animator, and he actually left the studio for a couple of years during World War II to go serve in the US military. During that time, he was in England. When he came back, he worked on a lot of stop-motion animation, and he also animated some of the sequences that were animated in live-action movies, such as Mary Poppins. In 1965, he started working in Walt Disney Imagineering. His first project at Imagineering was the primeval diorama with all the dinosaurs in it, which you can now see if you ride on the Disneyland Railroad. It's one of the 2 giant dioramas. And that's not too different from what he had been doing before. It's obviously way more 3D, he had been an animator, but it's still like visual arts. But then Walt called him into his office and his life and career changed courses completely. I don't mean to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but before I talk about his next experience within the Walt Disney Company, I want to talk about X's relationship with Walt Disney, because I think it is just adorable. So X looked up to Walt Disney so much. He described him as the ideal father figure. I saw this really cute story of how he first met Walt. They were standing in an elevator together, and X was like super nervous because it was Walt Disney, it was like the big guy, and so X was like, "Hi Walt," and Walt responds, "Hiya X," and X said that he basically almost like fell to his knees because he was so excited that Walt Disney knew his name and like knew who he was. That's just adorable because like he just admired Walt so much, both as a storyteller but also as a person. And another reason that a lot of people admire Walt is because of his ability to recognize talents in people that not even they knew they had. And this is a perfect example of that, because during that meeting, Walt asked him to write the script for the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. This was completely different from anything he had ever done in his life. So X was understandably a little bit nervous about this. He wrote one scene and showed it to Walt, and Walt was like, "Yeah, no, that's fine, keep going." And so he kept going and ended up writing the entire script for Pirates. When he showed it to him the first time, Walt wrote through and heard all of the dialogue, and X was absolutely mortified because the dialogue sort of sounded like it was all one on top of another. You couldn't really like make out anything specific. Right after the ride, X apologized like over and over again to Walt, and Walt was like, no, it's cool. It's like a cocktail party. It's like you'll hear like some parts one time and then other parts another time. So the guests will never get bored of this attraction because you'll always hear something new. And I feel like that's definitely true on Pirates. So it's just so cool that X was able to write all this dialogue that even if you don't hear all of it at once, you hear little snippets, and it really adds to your experience of the attraction. Another thing that X contributed to the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction was the song. So X was working on the dialogue and decided that it needed something to tie it together a little bit more. So he wrote a super rough draft of a song, and then went and told Walt that he thought that pirates could really use like a song that went along with it, and he sung a couple of measures from his prototype song, and Walt was like, okay, great, yeah, you write the lyrics, George Burns will do the music. That just blows my mind, because that is the first song that Atencio had ever written in his entire life. So, I mean, that's just crazy. Like, he wrote one song, and it's Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me. It's such an iconic song. I will have it in my head for the rest of my life, and I'm not even mad, because I literally love that song. So that's just insane that that was his literal first song. Anyway, after his massive contributions to Pirates of the Caribbean, he did a similar thing on The Haunted Mansion, writing both the script and the absolutely iconic Grim Grinning Ghosts. He also worked on a couple of other attractions, including Space Mountain and an attraction in Epcot that is sadly gone now, but was called If You Had Wings. I want to bring this up for two reasons. Number one, it is honestly an awesome example of how Disney Imagineers reuse ideas. So this attraction was originally an ad for an airline, and he went around the world in a ride vehicle that was very similar to the Omnimover or the Doom Buggy in the Haunted Mansion, and you saw scenes from all the places that this airline flew. It's gone now, but the idea of an attraction going all around the world definitely reminds me of Soarin', and I think it's really cool that they reused a similar idea with new technology. The second reason is that X wrote the song for this attraction, and I honestly think it's like a really good song, and I'm sort of sad it's not used anymore. So now that you know a little bit about him and his work and his awesome story of trying to write his first song ever and it being Pirates of the Caribbean, here are some places where you can see and hear evidence of his legacy in Disneyland. So in the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, pretty much all of the talking and singing that you hear, obviously, is his work, but he also has his appearance in the attraction. He's the Jolly Roger. If you don't know what that is, it's this pirate skull guy. You know, the one who says,
"Ye come seeking adventure and salty old pirates, eh? Sure, you've come to the proper place."
That's his actual voice, which is just unbelievably exciting to me. I'm so excited for the next time I go on that attraction, because I'm gonna be like, oh my god, it's Atencio! Like, that's so cool. Similarly, in Haunted Mansion, he also wrote the script and the song, but he also has his voice making an appearance right after the endless hallway scene. There's a conservatory scene with the guy in the coffin, like, going, let me out, let me out. That's also Atencio, and once again, I'm gonna be super excited next time I see that. He obviously, because he's such a Disney legend, he also has a window on Main Street, and his window is located just above the Opera House, and it says The Musical Quill, Lyrics and Librettos by Atencio. Be sure to look out for that window the next time you're in Disneyland. I think his career and life is just so interesting and awesome, and honestly so inspirational that he could change completely around what he was doing and be so successful at both animation and songwriting. So today's Pixie Dust is a suggestion in the spirit of Atencio to try something new. If you normally express yourself through art, maybe express yourself through writing, or vice versa. If you like to read a lot, maybe try listening to a podcast. You never know what's going to happen, and after all, you could end up writing an incredible song that's used in a Disney attraction, or maybe you could become an animator. I don't know. Anything is possible at Disneyland. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I honestly developed such an emotional connection with Atencio, and I think his story and his life is just so cool, and he just seems like a really awesome guy. I'm definitely super excited to look out for all of the things that he contributed in the park, and I'm super excited to hear his voice in 2 attractions. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I'll see you real soon.